Good morning, guys. Welcome to another episode of South African Motorcyclist. We're in the garage today. Obviously the rain's not helping us much, but there's a couple other things why I'm not riding right now. So we got this new product that we're going to try out. It's not really a new product, but we got it in. It's new for us. Tire Penz, tire marker pens and stuff like that. We're going to give it a shot today. We got it like about a month or so ago, and we wanted to try it out, but there was no point in us putting it onto old rubber. So finally got a new set of tires on. You can actually check they're still nice and shiny, brand spanking new. They haven't been broken in yet, so it's a brand new set of tires on this bike. It's Metzilla's Touron's Next tires. This is on the Africa Twin, and tires got fitted, thankfully. Compliments to Bike and Tire West Rand. You can just check their link down below if you want to get some tires and stuff like that out on the West Rand side. So I'm going to prep this tire, get the tire ready for Tire Penz, and we'll open the box and check what's going on inside there, and then we'll talk about it. Okay, so first things first, guys, what I do is normally when I get a new fresh set of tires, nice fine wire brush. You don't need to go broad brush and stuff like that. It doesn't need to be that rough. Just a nice fine brush. I like to just give the tires a good scrub. Hello Fenrir. I like giving the tires a good scrub and stuff like that, just to get rid of that top coat that they obviously put on to preserve the tires and stuff like that while they're sitting in the shops. Very dangerous out on the road. So I'm just going to give this a quick scrub just to get rid of that as much as possible. Don't use, I don't like suggesting using any form of chemicals or anything like that. And like I said, don't use your dry brush, a hard bristle brush. Get yourself a nice little fine brush. They're really cheap, they're worth it, and you just give it a good scrub before anything else. It just gets rid of that top coat. Unless you're running tire warmers and you're out on the track, where you can actually really burn a set of tires in properly, this is what I suggest. Just give it a good scrub. Just get them nice and clean. You don't have to scrub into the rubber itself. It's just to scuff it a little bit, if that makes sense what I'm saying. And that's all that you're actually after. So with the Tire Penz, we're only going to focus on the one side, which is obviously predominantly on the left right now. I'm not going to bore you guys with doing the whole tire and the sidewalls and stuff like that. I'm just going to do the one side so you guys can check it out, so we can check it out, take a look at it, see how it works out for us, and then I will obviously do, once it's completely done, I'll do some footage to show you guys exactly what's what, and you guys can check it out and you guys can make your own decisions. Awesome. Alright, so tire's nice and scuffed on this side lacquer. Let's open up the box. Let's check what's inside it. Let's just open this up. Alright, so this is the Tire Penz reflective kit. Comes with a single marker, the reflective powder, and a little wire brush. You can also buy them as a single pen itself if you've got your own wire brush and if you don't want the reflective and stuff, but obviously we've gone for the reflective. Get the tire to nice and pop. Just a quick disclaimer, guys, I have done this on a previous set of the exact same tire, so I know exactly where I can and can't. Doesn't work so lacquer here in this tight groove here, especially down here at the bottom, so I'm going to leave that out on these tires, because the tip doesn't quite get in there lacquer. With a little wire brush, all we do is we're just going to give the inside here a nice scuffing. You'll see I've got a piece of masking tape there just to mark where I am. It's obviously my start point. Once you start coloring in, it's a different thing, but just to get everything going, just mark the tire with something, chalk, or like I've done, masking tape. And we're just going to scuff the insides of these beads. We're just going to scuff the inside of this just to get it nice and clean, make sure that everything's 100%, and then we'll start. In the process, all I'm going to do is I'm just going to give this pen a quick shake. Actually, now I'm thinking about it, just give the pen a quick shake, and I'm just going to let it stand up straight for a bit, just so that it can wet the tip. All I'm going to do there is I'm just going to give it a quick press on my finger just to start getting the ink flowing. Let's just actually give this a quick squeeze there. It won't bring anything out, you'll actually see it. There we go, it starts wetting the tip, which is what we're after. So what I did discover is that you just give it a quick couple of pops up and down. Ooh, cook, there goes the tip. It's not the end of the world. So with the single pens you do get an extra tip. It's water based, so while it's wet, it's pretty cool. Alright, so I'm just going to give that a quick shake, turn that upside down, and I'm just going to place this somewhere quickly so that it can, you know, obviously run into the tip. And in the process, I'm going to quickly carry on cleaning this so that everything's nice and ready, and then we'll get into the video. Okay guys, so got the tire nice and clean where I'm going to start painting and stuff like that with the Tire Penz. Tire Penz almost soaked right through, which is cool, that's fine. We're just going to give it a last little bit of a shake up and a press just to get that ink flowing through there nicely. And yeah guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. You know, I mean, obviously the more you guys like and subscribe, the more shit we get to you know, show you guys, which is pretty cool. So now that I've got that pen, that tip is nice and wet. So the trick with this is there's actually there is a trick to this. You obviously want the pen as wet as possible, and the trick is, it's very simple. Apply a couple of dots, pushing in, straightforward, very straightforward. And then all you're going to do is that you're going to very lightly just move it around until it gets into all the grooves, which is pretty cool. You'll see I'm using green on this bike. The other bike got orange. There's different colors, there's like a ton of colors that they've got. We just decided to go green on this one just because, like, why not, you know. The rest of the bike is red, but you know, why not? Why not do something different? So that's the first coat in. We're going to do 2 coats. We're not going to do just 1 coat. We are going to do 2 coats. So the first coat is more just like a priming coat, if you think about it like that. It's just to get that initial down on the tire, and then the second coat is where your reflective stuff, your reflective powder starts getting added, and you know, your final color comes in. And other than that guys, that's pretty much it. It's a pretty cool product. I have been testing it, obviously. You guys know we don't exactly cut corners. We test everything before we actually approve it and stuff like that. Tire Penz in South Africa are available from the Tire Penz guys themselves, the importers and distributors. And then we've got them now available on the motordigimark.co.za website as well. For those of you that don't know yet, that's actually the backbone of South African Motorcyclist, is Motordigimark. Motordigimark is what pays all the bills for South African Motorcyclists to carry on going and keep it free for you guys, you know, all our content generation stuff. So as you guys can check, the green really pops. I must say I'm really chuffed with the green actually. I used the orange the other day on the other bike that I did with the exact same set of tires. Well, not exactly the same set of tires, but the same type of tires. And the orange is nice, don't get me wrong, it's really nice. But this green like really pops in comparison, which is pretty cool. And yeah, so I'm going to carry on with this. And like I say, the trick is dab, 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 make little dots all the way down where you need, and then you just very lightly move it around. That this tip is fundamentally just a paintbrush. That's pretty much all it is. You do get an extra tip. Don't worry about if you get it on the side there a little bit where you you don't want it, you can just rub it off quickly before it dries, which is pretty cool. You do get an extra tip. There is a trick with the tip in that if you actually pull the tip out and turn it around, it is a sharper point, if that works better for you. But I'm already phased. This works pretty well for me. The sharper tip is cool, but unfortunately still doesn't get in here. I think you would need to, I don't know, try and attack it with a paintbrush or something to get it into there. So I'm going to carry on with this and then let this dry, and then we can do the reflective powder. Hopefully by then this thing should be dry enough that I can do the second coat and the reflective powder, so you guys can check that out. Makes a huge difference visibility wise. Like I say, we have been testing it, so you know, I mean, we've tested it in, you know, the reflective situation and stuff like that. But I will obviously show you what that looks like once it's done, you know, a little bit further down in the video of how reflective this stuff is when you use the reflective powder versus not using the reflective powder. And yeah, so I'm just going to carry on with this, and then we'll get back to talking just now. On of the tire pens, both sides all the way done. Obviously not doing the centerpiece here because obviously the tip not being thin enough to get into this last little piece here doesn't do such a lacquer job. The first coat is dry, so now we're gonna go on to the reflective powder. So the reflective powder it's like a glass that obviously just pops and shines out when there's any lights and stuff like that added to it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do that now. So we're going to shake up the pen quickly, get it all shaked up, and we're going to pop the pen open again. Let me just put the cap actually on the back. Okay, so the trick with this stuff, let me just put this cap away somewhere where it's safe, because knowing my luck I'll lose that little red cap. Okay, so it already comes with a little hole and everything like that, so you don't have to cut it open. I really would not actually even suggest trying to open that hole up anymore, because this stuff is really fine. And before I get cracking into this, the reason why we are doing this with the tire pen, the tire pens and obviously the reflective, is one, it looks really cool, obviously, as bikers we want our bikes looking cool, and then secondly, obviously, the visibility. With the reflective powder, it does add a lot of visibility to the tire. It's a silly thing to think about. You know, I mean, why make your tires reflective? But, you know, after testing it and stuff like that, I must say, it really does make the bike a lot more visible. Obviously, I'll do the side, you know, where it says Mozilla and all of that type of stuff in the end and stuff, so it's obviously reflective from the sides as well. But this back piece, the back tire is my main focus at the moment, is these grooves. It adds a reflective element to the back of the bike. And it's something that a lot of guys overlook, you know, I mean, especially on the adventure bikes. We add spotlights for days on the front, crash bars, you know, reflective tapes and all of that type of stuff in the front. But the guys, let's be honest, nobody actually really thinks about the back. And it's typical biker mentality. We're so fast, they're not gonna hit us from the back. But you know what? Where you can, do it. Add extra visibility at the back, and that's why we're doing this. That's the main reason why we're doing this. Is yes, it looks cool, but you know, I mean, it's obviously the visibility. Okay, so let's get cracking now with the reflective powder. So what we're gonna do is, obviously we've shaken this up. We're gonna apply a second coat, right? You're not gonna apply the reflective powder before you've added your second coat, and I'll tell you why shortly. So the second coat is going to really make this color pop. You're going to really see the green. And it's just, ooh, crud, I might be a little bit too wet still. Might be a little bit too wet still. No, it's not a stress. There we go. I can make this work. There we go. I was just pushing too hard. Okay, so you can get it nice and wet now with the second coat. I'm just going to go very gently. There we go, we get this nice. Now the trick with the second coat is to get it nice and moist. You want to try and get the second coat as wet as possible for the reflective powder. That's your main goal, is to get your second coat nice and moist for the reflective powder. Let's just get some more ink going through here. Right. There we go. Get it like a wet. Nice solid colours. Trick is to try and get nice even strokes to really get the color popping. And like I said, the second coat, we want to keep it, we actually want to try and get it as wet as possible, because what we're going to do now is we're literally just going to take this and just sprinkle some over the wet paint that we've just put down. And obviously, depending on how much reflectiveness you want, it's going to come down to you. And that's it. Cool. So there's reflection on there. Now the reason why we do the paint before we do the reflective powder itself is because if you put the reflective powder down and then color it in, you're just covering it up, which doesn't help. You're kind of defeating the purpose, because this stuff reflects on its own. So you don't want to cover this up with another coat of the paint itself, which is why you obviously wet everything, moisten it, put your second coat down first, get it nice and soaked, get it nice and wet, and you sprinkle this on top. And this is what adds the whole reflectiveness to the whole thing. So let's just do another one here quickly. Okay, nice and moist, nice and wet on that second coat. It's a really easy system to use, and like I said, I mean, it adds a lot of visibility. You don't think it's a stupid thing, but it adds visibility, and that's what it's all about, guys, is adding visibility. You know, no matter where in the world you're riding, you know, cars always, when the car does hit us, yeah, they didn't see us. That's always the first go-to excuse, is, I didn't see the bike. And you know, I mean, the more visibility you have, the higher the chances are that you're gonna avoid getting hit by a car. You know, it's not to say you're gonna avoid an accident point blank, but you know, I mean, that's biking, that's life. Well, that's the biking life, let's put it that way. Is that, you know, you go out of your way not to fall off. You know, although falling is something that we are prone for doing as bikers, it's not something that we're gonna go out of our way to go and try and do. It's not to say it's not gonna happen, but yeah, that's a different video. That'll be up shortly as well. That's a different video, but you know, wherever you can to make yourself more visible, to try and remove as much of the possibility of falling off, do it. This is fundamentally for me like a reflective vest, because I'll be deadly honest with you, I hate wearing a vest over my jacket. And yeah, reflective vests, although they add a lot of visibility, I'm not a fan. I have worn my reflective vest a few times recently, actually riding in the rain, but I mean, it's also the highway that I was riding, and the rain conditions itself that I was riding in, you know, visibility was really poor. So, like, you know, I mean, I do carry a reflective vest with me for in case, but I don't go, and yeah, I mean, the guys that have seen me doing coverage of rides and stuff like that, then I wear my reflective vest, obviously, just so that the guys can see that, listen, don't try and keep up with me, don't try and do what I'm doing, don't do what I'm doing, because obviously I'm there for a purpose, you know. So I do keep the reflective vest with, but this is fundamentally for me like a reflective vest. It actually pops and shines like a reflective vest, and it's the closest to wearing a reflective vest every single day without actually wearing a reflective vest in my book. So that's why I do this. That's why I'm doing this, actually. And like I said, I mean, you know what, guys, you can check them out. They're available now on the Moto Digimark website, accessible from South African Motorcyclist website, samotorcycle.co.za, so you guys can go check that out as well. Again, big shout out to Bike and Tire Westrand for finding me these tires. It was a very odd sized tires, and there wasn't stock from anybody else. They managed to organize it for me. Service really good. They actually stayed open later for me to, you know, to get it fitted and stuff like that, because there was a bit of delay getting the tire in and all of that type of jazz. So yeah, big shout out to them, really epic guys. We'll be doing an interview with them hopefully soon as well, at their premises. You guys can check it out, especially if you're out on the west end of Joburg side. There's not a lot of guys at this side of the world that specialize in tires, so it's good to know that they're there, and it's good to know that, you know, their service quality is really good. And yeah, anyway guys, I'm not going to bore you anymore with listening to me talking and rambling. I'm going to carry on with this, and then once both tires are actually completely done with the reflective, we will do a comparative so that I can show you guys exactly how the reflective does and stuff like that. Just give it obviously a chance to dry and everything, and then you guys will be able to see and check for yourselves how well this stuff actually works as a reflective. So cool, I'm gonna carry on with this, and yeah, I'll fast forward a couple hours for you guys to check what's, you know, once it's completely done on both front tire and back tire, all the way around, sidewalls, the whole toot, and then obviously the reflective show. Awesome, let's go and check. Let me carry on. Alright guys, so here we are 2 days later. Obviously the paint has now had a chance to dry, the tire markers have had a chance to dry. We've done the side walls as far as possible, you know, keeping it nice, keeping it neat. The Motorcyclist Touron's tires, and you know what, I must say I'm very, very, very happy with the way that it's come out. But the biggest thing that we want to show you now is obviously the reflective. So I've got a torch here, I've got the garage lights off just to try and show you guys just how reflective this stuff is, which is pretty cool. I'm just going to zoom this in here. So what I did was I left one of the treads out. I'm just going to go to a more wider spectrum. So that tread there, that's this one here, doesn't have any of the reflective powder on, just to show you guys. As you can see, it's not that reflective. It's not shiny. Here on the Medzilla you can actually see it quite nicely. I mean, you can see the sparkle. It's got like a shine to it, which is really cool. And you know, that's it. So definitely a product to look at, definitely something to take into consideration. As you can see, as the wheel spins, it's just green, it's just reflective that you're going to see, which is what you're after. So yeah, Tire Penz, like I said, available now on motodigimark.co.za. Follow the link, don't forget, like, subscribe, do the thing, and yeah. Awesome guys, till the next one.